Hello and welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join me for this seminar. Every one of us who works in e-commerce or in the e-commerce industry gets to see both sides of retail transactions because we're at once merchants selling goods online and consumers shopping at many different online stores. We understand both a shopper's desire for fast and expensive delivery and the seller's dilemma. How do you make expedited shipping affordable? Well, that's our topic. But before we go too much further, let's start with some housekeeping, if you will. I should introduce myself. My name is Armando Roggio. I am a senior contributing editor for Practical Ecommerce, and I am also the director of marketing for a mid-market retail chain with several stores and an e-commerce operation. I've been working in marketing e-commerce for nearly 2 decades, and I very much enjoy making these presentations. So this is our plan. I am going to get through these in something like 20 or 25 minutes if I stay on schedule. You will have access to this presentation later. I believe it'll be emailed to you, or at least a link will be emailed to you. So yes, you may have these slides. That's a common question. And as you look at the points or sections, remember the overall goal is to discuss strategies for affordable next day shipping. And that's really what we want to get to with these items. Along the way, I'm really going to start off by trying to make a case for offering next day shipping or I guess the opportunity associated with offering Nextday or other premium shipping services. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about how you would price those services and give you kind of a formula for doing that. I hope that makes sense. Okay, this graphic is based on data from the 2018 Walker Sands Future of Retail Report, which this year was authored by Aaron Jordan. Walker Sands, by the way, is a communication agency. They have a portion of their practice focused on retail, and frankly, I've enjoyed their annual reports for a number of years. And in fact, a couple of years ago, I wrote an article for Practical Ecommerce called Free Shipping, Free Returns Critical for Online Shoppers. And in that article, I quoted the 2016 version of this same report, which I guess is an indication maybe that fast shipping and possibly fast and free shipping has really been a trend in e-commerce for at least a few years now. Okay. I guess I'm going to go ahead and read you a quote from this year's Walker Sands report as we contemplate the numbers that you see on the screen. So here's the quote. With fast and free shipping as a key driver for online and cross-channel purchases for the 5th year in a row, the biggest opportunity for brands and retailers lies with creating more efficiencies in the supply chain. More frequent online purchases have driven consumers to explore new routes for delivery and pickup, like 2-day, 1-day, same day, and even 2-hour shipping, say the folks at Walker Sands. So let's have a look at these numbers. The question these represent is what would make you more likely to shop online? Now, I don't think, or I should say I think that most folks are already pretty likely to shop online. So it's not as if Walker Sands is talking to first-time online buyers, right? This is about being more likely to shop online, perhaps relative to shopping in other channels, possibly relative to shopping in a brick-and-mortar store. And about 40% of the folks surveyed would, in fact, shop online more, and I want to emphasize that word, more, if they could have their order delivered by the next day. And some 42% would shop online more if the product arrived on the same day that it was ordered. Now, presumably, this is true because folks like the convenience of shopping online, but sometimes, they need a product now. Maybe they ran out of deodorant or about to run out of deodorant, okay? And they want to order it online rather than going to the corner store that smells weird and features, unfriendly cashiers. But they need it tomorrow at the latest. So they can't really wait, or they don't really want to spend a lot of money on next day shipping. I guess my point is that what Walker Sands data is really showing is it's pointing us toward an opportunity, a competitive advantage maybe, which comes from answering customer demand or need by way of offering affordable next day shipping. So let's explore this opportunity a little bit by looking at 4 facts or trends, the ones you see listed right now on your screen. These are really subsections or subpoints in our exploration of customer demand for fast, call it next day e-commerce fulfillment. The first one is that free shipping is the norm. It is the expectation. In the fourth quarter of 2017, so basically 7 months ago, 65% of U.S. online retail orders included free shipping. And this is according to ComScore. It comes from ComScore's State of the U.S. Online Retail Economy Report for Q1 2018. And so let that sink in. Free shipping is the norm. 65% of American retail e-commerce orders in Q4 2017 included free shipping. 65% of American retail e-commerce orders in Q3 2017 also had free shipping. In Q2 last year, it was 64%, and so on. You can see it right here, okay? That means that the majority of the time, online retailers are already paying for shipping, or they're paying something for shipping the majority of the time. Your company, companies like yours, are footing the bill for these free shippings, for all of this free shipping. So in the context of trying to understand how to make next day shipping affordable, I think we really need to think about it as an incremental cost to your business. And it might even be a way to recover some of the cost of free shipping. So this idea that next day shipping can be incremental or an incremental expense contributes to what we're going to talk about in terms of affordability. So when you're thinking of how to make it affordable, realize that you're already spending something to ship packages to customers, and what you're already spending can offset your offering of a next day shipping service, and maybe even subsidizing that next day shipping service for your customers. Hope that makes sense. And it kind of flows into my next sub point, which is that 2-day shipping, even 2-day free shipping, is growing in popularity and use. Amazon Prime customers, for example, enjoy free 2-day shipping on many of their orders. And about 18 months ago, in January of 2017, Walmart announced that it was offering free 2-day shipping on some orders. I think you have to spend $35 or something like that. And there was a great quote from Mark Lohr at the time that Walmart announced its free 2-day shipping offer. And Mark Lohr, you'll remember, was the founder of Jet.com. He's currently running Walmart's e-commerce business. And Lohr said this, and so I'll quote it. In today's world of e-commerce, 2-day free shipping is table stakes. It no longer makes sense to charge for it, end quote. 2-day free shipping is table stakes. Okay, and add to that quote this fact that 23% of American retail e-commerce orders in 2017 included 2-day shipping. That's almost 1 out of 4 retail orders in the United States last year included 2-day shipping. And this data, by the way, comes from the Pulse of the Online Shopper report for 2017. I'll quote it a couple times as we go, and it was volume 5. So not only are you paying, your business paying, for free shipping on nearly 7 out of 10 orders, but 1 in 4 of those are 2-day shipping, right? And oh, by the way, 2-day shipping could represent an even higher percentage of e-commerce orders in 2018 and beyond. It's trending upward. So I want to get around this idea then that part of the affordability of next day shipping comes from understanding that you're already spending quite a bit to ship your customers a package, possibly free, possibly 2-day. So when we start to look at the cost of next day shipping, we really need to think of it as an incremental cost, not a whole new added expense. Okay. So retail e-commerce businesses, maybe like yours, are doing this. They're offering free shipping. They're offering 2-day shipping because delivery speed matters to your customers. You are, in a sense, meeting customer demands. Okay, Mark Lohr thinks that free 2-day shipping is table stakes for e-commerce because customers, or at least some of those customers, have come to expect it. So again, according to the Pulse of the Online Shopper report, 63% of shoppers say that speed matters. That's more than 6 out of 10 of your potential customers. I want to be clear here. If you give a shopper a choice between free shipping and fast shipping, that shopper is going to choose free shipping almost 90% of the time. And that's not a guess. There are actually a few studies, like one from Deloitte that showed that this is the case, right? They're going to pick free shipping most of the time. But generally, speed of delivery is important because shoppers understand that there are going to be times when they need an item really fast. Okay, I'm going to share a personal anecdote as a way of giving you another example of when a customer, me in this case, might believe that fast delivery is important. So a little while back, I was watching YouTube with my wife and my son, Giovanni. I think it was a Thursday, maybe Friday, probably Friday. And one of the videos was a performance of the Delvon Lamar organ trio. If you're not familiar with them, you need to check them out and give it a listen. The band features Delvon Lamar on organ, David McGraw on drums, and Jimmy James on guitar. Now, my son Giovanni is a guitar player, and we were watching Jimmy play and just really enjoying it. Jimmy gets into his music. It was just a lot of fun to watch it. This screen capture, by the way, is of Jimmy from the particular YouTube video in question. And as the camera pans around in this video, Giovanni notices that Delvon Lamar is actually wearing a Jimmy James t-shirt, okay? So it may be a little bit hard to see on your computer screen or mobile device, but on a 49-inch TV, it's pretty clear, okay? There's a picture of Jimmy James. You see his fist. It says Jimmy James B word on it. My son Giovanni loves it. He thinks it's awesome, okay? He even says something like, hey, it has the B word on it. See, it says Jimmy James, comma, B word, because even though he's 18 years old, we don't really let him say the B word. So now it's this Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and the Tuesday after this discovery of the t-shirt, it was actually Giovanni's birthday. And being one of the most awesome fathers in the universe, I decided that I wanted to get this shirt for him. So I, of course, ordered the Jimmy James, comma, B word t-shirt. And I needed to ensure that it would be delivered on time because of the birthday, right? So this is a case when I would be willing, to even pay $10 or more to get a $19 t-shirt because I have this deadline. It's an instance, it's a simple example of why delivery speed is very important to customers when they need it, okay? And there are going to be plenty of other times when your customers will be willing to pay for that extra speed, pay for faster delivery, which is my next subpoint. Some 77% of American shoppers will pay for expedited shipping when they need it, okay? When they must have deodorant or when they need a birthday gift or a holiday present, they're going to pay for it. And there's even a generational difference in here too, as 88%, that's nearly 9 out of 10 millennials will pay for fast shipping when they need it, according to the aforementioned Pulse of the Online Shopper report for 2017. So your business is going to be able to share maybe even all of the incremental cost of offering fast shipping like Nextday shipping with your customers, okay? Ahead of the Christmas shopping season last year, Deloitte surveyed shoppers and released the data that you see here as part of their 2017 holiday survey. So please understand this is holidays in context. On page 27 of what was really like a 41 slide presentation, what we see is that 12% of consumers would pay an extra 60 cents for a 3 to 4 day delivery window. And that's up from 50 cents when Deloitte asked this same question in 2016. Frankly, this seems high to me. We really should be focusing on the high-speed stuff. So it doesn't surprise me that only 12% would pay more. I'm actually surprised that it's not a smaller percentage. As we move on, about 36% of shoppers surveyed would pay an extra $1.60 for 2-day shipping, and that figure was up from $1.50 in 2016. And here's the part that I guess is most interesting for us. About 68% of shoppers would pay an extra $3.80 to get next-day shipping, and about 75% of holiday shoppers surveyed would pay $5.60 to get same-day delivery for some of their gifts. And I actually think they would pay more than what they might answer in a survey when sort of the rubber meets the road and they have a need for it. So in this first section, I guess I've been trying to make a case that there is demand for fast delivery as seen from the Walker Sands data. So about 40% of shoppers would be motivated to shop online more if faster shipping like next day shipping was available. I also tried to make the argument that offering next day shipping and possibly even subsidizing it can be an incremental expense, so that you can take what you would normally invest in free shipping or free 2-day shipping, and you can sort of offset the cost of expedited shipping to make it more affordable for your customers, and then also to in your mind, make it more affordable. And I reminded you that your customers, guys like me, are sometimes willing to pay something for expedited shipping. Thus, you can further offset your cost and make offering next day shipping affordable for both your customers and your business. Okay. So next up in this next section, I am going to talk a bit about how to price next day shipping, or perhaps it would be better to say how much you can charge or should charge your customers for next day shipping. To start us off, I have a screen capture from Amazon, and I want you to notice the section with the shipping rates. You can see that Amazon was going to give me free 2-day shipping. It was early on a Thursday morning when I was working on this presentation. 2-day shipping is really 2 business day shipping. So my order would have arrived on Monday, July the 20th, which was yesterday, basically at the time of our seminar. But for $11.98, I can have what Amazon calls 1-day shipping. We've been referring to that as next day shipping. And my package would have arrived on Friday, July the 27th. So how did Amazon know to charge me an extra $11.98? Well, I'd be willing to bet that it's not simply a guess. Amazon did not become one of the leading retailers in the world by making guesses. And my advice to you is to not guess either, or not to guess either. You want to have a strategy for how you price next day shipping that helps your business earn more profit. So I'm going to recommend using this change in profit equation, which quite frankly I use for all sorts of shipping cost and shipping price decisions. If you happen to be on a seminar I did for Patch Ecommerce in March of this year, you saw this same equation employed to decide if free shipping was profitable. Okay, now let's use it for expedited shipping. So let's pretend that we're going to run a simple A/B split test for a month on your website. Half of the shoppers who check out will see a version of the shopping detail page or shipping detail page with a 1-day, next day shipping option. Okay, this is the one that should be on the left of your screen as you're looking at it right now. The other half of your customers will see just the free shipping options. Does this make sense? Our goal in this first A/B test is simply to determine whether or not offering next day shipping increases the conversion rate. And conversion rate, of course, was one of the variables in our change in profit equation. For the actual cost of the next day shipping, let's imagine that you're offsetting the fee a carrier like FedEx would charge for next day shipping with the amount of money that you would have paid for free shipping. So if the free 2-day shipping would have cost $6 and the real cost of sending the same items via next day shipping is $17.98, you would charge $11.98. Okay, so the cost to the business is unchanged. The customer is really paying the difference here. And I know, please don't yell at me about how much next day shipping really costs. I was trying to simply make the math easy for our example. Okay, so let's apply the results to our A/B split test to the change in profit equation. Okay, it's been a month, and at the end of the test, the version with the next day shipping option converted at a rate of 5.5%, while the version with just the free shipping offers converted at 5%. Okay, we can express this difference in conversion rate as 1.1 in our equation, since 1.1 times 5 is 5.5. Okay, so we put 1.1 in place of the A variable. There's no change in variable B, which was the average order value, so we put a 1 there. There's also no change in the variable C gross margin, so we'll put a 0 there. And when we do the math, we find that adding the next day shipping option increased profit 10%. Okay, in our simple, call it tin can example, it makes a lot of sense to add a next day shipping option. But we wanted to know what to charge for next day shipping, how to optimize what we're charging. So let's do another test. Okay. In this A/B test, half of your customers will see a next day shipping option where the price is offset by what the free shipping option would have cost. So if it would have cost your business $5 to send the order via the free shipping method, and the actual cost of next day shipping is $20, you're charging your customer $15. Again, this is supposed to be the actual cost of the next day shipping minus your company's or the amount your company would have paid in a free shipping scenario. The second group will be charged $1 more for the next day shipping, so $16 in this example, as you try to earn back a bit of your gross margin. At the end of the test, we find that the conversion rate has dropped back to 5%, which is a decrease of just a bit under 10% as a decrease, so that we can plug in 0.91 in the variable A in the equation. The gross margin rose from 25% to 28% thanks to the extra dollar. So that's about a 12% increase for variable C. Variable B there didn't change as well. So what we're looking at now is what you see in front of you. And if we do the math, we learn that charging the extra dollar would boost the profit for orders with next day shipping by about 1.92%. So a little bit less than a 2% increase. This, of course, was a very elementary example, but in this section, my goal was to give you a method, a way of identifying how much you should charge for expedited shipping. And what I guess I'm sort of pitching to you is really that you come up with an hypothesis for what you think you should charge. In this case, do we offset expedited shipping with the cost of free shipping? You set up an A/B test, and then you basically let the real data from your customers help you decide where the threshold is. The goal then is not simply to make expedited shipping affordable per se, but also to make your business more profitable because of making expedited shipping available. Okay. I guess the next option or thing I want to talk about around affordability is to encourage you to simply take the time to develop a strategy for which carrier or carriers your business uses for expedited shipping services, and maybe even really shipping in general. For example, let's consider the first point, surveying shipping options. As you sort of go through the process of selecting a carrier or carriers for, say, next day delivery, it can be helpful to understand what sorts of carriers and services are really open to your business. Okay, you have a parcel or package carrier. This is probably going to be the most familiar to you. This will be a company similar to FedEx. You have white glove services. These are typically regional delivery services, sometimes even moving companies that may have been doing deliveries for brick and mortar retailers in the area. They've recognized an e-commerce opportunity, and now they're doing some custom delivery services too. And if you have a warehouse or a fulfillment service or fulfillment location in that area, then you might be able to use something like a white glove service to even make same day deliveries, right? So if you have a fulfillment partner, it's FedEx supply chain, that white glove service could pick up at their warehouse, make a delivery in the local area for you. On-demand delivery describes options like messenger services. Frankly, until a few months ago when it closed, I would have put Uber Rush into this category. So these are some very high-speed services that you can use. And finally, there are freight companies that can deliver, next day at a pretty reasonable rate. For example, if you are in the northwestern United States where I live, there is a packaging supply company, Uline. If you order from them, you will probably get your order the next day, and it'll probably be delivered via a third-party freight company. So these things are all open to you. To make next day and other types of expedited shipping affordable, you also want to think about your relationship with the carriers. Do you want, the very best price in the moment for each shipment? Okay. So that every time an order comes in, you're really making a comparison to see what's the best way or the least expensive way to send out that expedited order at that moment? Or do you want to focus all of your volume on a single carrier so that you can negotiate maybe a bigger discount, and you're really looking for a long-term solution to next day shipping affordability? You need to look at these things. And you need to look at, I guess, in the context of understanding your shipping needs or requirements. For example, if you sell perfume, your company is shipping flammable material. And depending on the number of ounces in a package, you may not be able to use a typical next day air service because it's a flammable material. So in order to make expedited shipping affordable, you're going to need to find another way. You need to understand what sort of your shipping requirements are. And investing some time to understand your options for expedited shipping and thinking about why you might choose one carrier over another will take you a long way toward making next day shipping affordable, in my opinion. You also may find that from market to market, area to area, there will be local expedited delivery options that will make next day delivery or even same day delivery affordable for your business. Here's my example. You are looking at some authentic Lonnie C donuts. I order these online each week, and they're delivered the next morning free of charge to my office, where I share them with the folks in my department. Now, these are some premium donuts, so I'm paying $10 per dozen. And that's about $3 per dozen more than the donuts available in my local grocery store. And I also tip the delivery person, which, is always one of a few different retirement age fellows. So I give them about $2 for making the delivery. So I'm really $12 into this. Now, Lonnie C's donut shop, or warehouse, if you will, is just a few minutes, few miles from me, but the company will hand deliver in about a 90-mile radius, thanks to some of their local delivery contractors. And you can find similar relationships. And then I guess my sort of last point here is that in general, or I should say it generally perhaps, costs more money to ship something a long way across multiple zones than it does to ship that same package across town. And this becomes especially true when you're trying to ship a package for next day delivery. So let's consider a very contrived little scenario here that's based on some published retail rates for shipping from a couple of different carriers. If your e-commerce business had only one warehouse in Boise, Idaho, and you had a customer that was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, place an order for next day delivery, the next day shipping cost for a 12-inch by 12-inch, basically an envelope that weighed about 3 pounds, would be $88.91. Okay? Your customer would have that order the next day, but at a very high cost to everyone, to you, to the customer, etc. If, however, you had a second warehouse, a fulfillment service, a fulfillment partner in Pittsburgh, you could ship the order via ground for about $6.25, and it would still arrive tomorrow. You'd still be doing next day shipping, even though it was a ground service. This idea of using multiple distributed warehouses around the country, as many of these as you can afford to do or as makes sense for your business, is exactly the same strategy that Amazon uses for its retail business. Okay, Amazon is said to have more than 140 fulfillment centers and sortation centers in North America. They have a facility close to the vast majority of shoppers. So is it any wonder that they can offer next day shipping for $11.98, like we saw in the earlier example? Okay. They're able to do that because they've distributed their warehouses. They've spread out their inventory, and they are really shipping a short distance, even a local distance, to many of their customers.